today are three main questions. Where is our education system today? Where does it need to be? And what is one major problem that we face that's hindering where we should be from our education system with what we have to deal with today? And so within these three questions, we're going to respond with our own answers. We're going to include videos that will reinforce our responses, as well as interviews that are dealing with the people that have to live with these situations, including the kids that live in the education system, as well as the teachers that have to teach it.
The way progress happens is because new generations and new eras grow and develop and become better than the previous ones. It's the reason we're not in the dark ages anymore. No matter your position or place in life, it is imperative to create opportunities for children so that we can grow up to blow you away.
The difference between a languishing nation and one that will flourish is the recognition that we need equal access to education for both boys and girls.
That at least America is taking these steps, especially with our government, because change takes time. And change is a scary thing, but what's even scarier is what's happening in the American public education system right now. But here's the thing. From a moral, pragmatic, and economic standpoint, we can't afford to lose any more children through the cracks of these policies.
In some parts of the country, 60% of kids drop out of high school. In the Native American communities, it's 80% of kids. If we halved that number, one estimate is it would create a net gain to the US economy over 10 years of nearly $1 trillion. From an economic point of view, this is good math, isn't it? That we should do this. It actually costs an enormous amount to mop up the damage from the dropout crisis. But the dropout crisis is just the tip of an iceberg. What it doesn't count are all the kids who are in school but being disengaged from it, who don't enjoy it, who don't get any real benefit from it. And the reason is not that we're not spending enough money. America spends more money on education than most other countries. Class sizes are smaller than in many countries. And there are hundreds of initiatives every year to try and improve education. The trouble is, it's all going in the wrong direction.
I'm going to say in a state of decline. I feel like there's a lot of kind of cultural things going against education right now. Politics, where people are not wanting to fund it, not wanting to support it, and there's almost an anti-education sentiment in part of the country.
America cannot wait another 50 years to get this right. We have run out of time. I don't know about a fiscal cliff, but I know there's an educational cliff that we are walking over right this very second. And if we allow folk to continue this foolishness about saying we can't afford this, so Bill Gates says it's going to cost $5 billion. What is $5 billion to the United States? What did we spend in Afghanistan this year? How many trillions, when the country cares about something, we'll spend $1 trillion without blinking an eye. When the safety of America is threatened, we will spend any amount of money. The real safety of our nation is preparing its next generation so that they can take our place and be the leaders of the world when it comes to thinking and technology and democracy and all that stuff we care about. I dare say it's a pittance. It's a pittance what it would require for us to really begin to solve some of these problems. So once we do that, I'll no longer be angry.
We are doing things and studying and looking at things in a way that's pivoting students, and we need to let them fly. They should be taking all of their gadgets into school, which all of their phones and iPods, and taking them into classes so that they can use them to do research and help them learn.
Hi, a big restriction that we're facing today in the current classroom are that the students that want to learn ahead are not being able to stay ahead. In this grade class, we took an exam, and if you did really well on it, we would, like in a certain subject, you could basically just pass that course, and for like a month and a half, just stay in the classroom and just play games with other people that really, that were ahead too. And that is a really big hindrance in the time that we just waste, and that could be easily prevented, I believe, by just giving the students examples and problems. They are ahead in that subject because they want to learn about the subject, and they will learn by themselves, even if you give them simple equations and whatnot.
There are many things that need to be changed and steps that need to be taken to fixing our schooling system, but I believe the most important one is the curriculum. I think to do this, we need to strip away everything we know right now and just get back to the basics. And an example of this would be teaching kids how to do long division in schools, not just handing them a calculator. I also believe that there is a lot of good things going on in the schools right now. There's just a lot of progress to be made. And we also have to remember that not everything is the teacher's fault. These teachers are doing the best they can with the materials that they have.
Teaching and learning should bring joy. How powerful would our world be if we had kids who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think, and who had a champion? Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be.
We should be thinking everybody should be educated. And if we had that sentiment, I think we would value teachers more. They would probably do a better job because of that. They wouldn't feel like people are watching over their shoulders. I especially think this with my high school teacher friends. They just feel like nobody trusts what they do.
Right.
And so that's why they have all these tests and things to make sure you're doing your job. Other countries value education on a very different level, I think, than we do recently. We used to.
I think we have to change metaphors. We have to go from what is essentially an industrial model of education, a manufacturing model, which is based on linearity and conformity and batching people. We have to move to a model that is based more on principles of agriculture. We have to recognize that human flourishing is not a mechanical process, it's an organic process. And you cannot predict the outcome of human development. All you can do is, like a farmer, is create the conditions under which they will begin to flourish. So when we look at reforming education and transforming it, it isn't like cloning a system. There are great ones, like KIPS, it's a great system. There are many great models. It's about customizing them to your circumstances and personalizing education to the people you're actually teaching. And doing that, I think, is the answer to the future, because it's not about scaling a new solution. It's about creating a movement in education in which people develop their own solutions, but with external support based on a personalized curriculum.
What's really special about our generation and why we get to respond to these questions is the fact that we have the power to make the change. What's more important is that we use that power to our advantage. We are the society and we are the generation that's coming up. So why don't we use this overarching power of our young youth and our wisdom of what we've dealt with in the education system to our benefit and for the benefit of our future?